Hey everyone, this is our third episode of our video webinar series where we will talk to successful nurse practitioner entrepreneurs who have built a practice that is making money and who have broken free from the rat race. Today we're going to be talking to Andrew, who is a psych nurse practitioner, currently is operating a very successful integrative psych practice. They offer a variety of mental health and niche medical services such as weight loss. Hey Andrew, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me, Justin.
Yeah, for sure. So, I'm excited to talk to you. I saw you at the Elite NP conference in Vegas a couple months ago. It's a pleasure to finally meet you in person. I know I've been chit-chatting with you via email and messenger and whatnot for the last, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys when I'm in the hot tub drinking because that's what I think my genius strikes. And the next morning I read them and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna think I'm an ass.
Hey, listen, man, I've written some of my best articles after drinking some wine or whatever, man. Like, it is what it is, It frees the brain. It just allows you to kind of just really think. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all. So, anyways, well, cool, man. So, yeah, I'm excited about having you on here. So you're a Psych NP,
Yes.
and you started your own practice. So, I guess just walk us through kind of where you started. A few years ago, maybe where you were working, what kind of things happened to push you in the direction of being an entrepreneur, starting your own practice. So if you can just kind of give us the entire picture, I guess, starting from when you became a nurse
So I was
practitioner.
working for a very large psychiatric practice here in Florida. They have I want to say 30 offices around the whole state. I was one of over 100 nurse practitioners there. I had started seeing excuse me, some patients Tuesday nights and Thursday nights when I would get home from work, on my own. I would get them from ZocDoc, and then I would use Alma for the billing aspect because of the insurance. This way, I'm not credentialed with the insurance. I'm not beholden to insurance companies. Alma just bills it directly and pays it with just the codes, which worked out perfect. And then one day we had a staff meeting, and they were like, "Hey, you guys are all taking 20 minutes of follow-ups. We want to change it to 15 minutes for a follow-up." And, I looked at my schedule and I'm like, well, I work 10 hours a day. That's one extra patient a day, 4 days a week. That's 40 extra patients a week. I'm one of 100. You start doing the math because you'd see you look at your rates, on Alma, you're like, 160 a patient. It's 10 more patients a day. That's just what, 1,600 more a day roughly. And, with everyone. And just you start doing the numbers and you're like, wait a second, you guys are making a ton of money. And I don't begrudge anyone, but man, you guys aren't satisfied. I'll be happy with just that little piece, that drop,
Right.
and you guys, he's got the whole 5-gallon bucket, 25-gallon bucket. I'm happy with the, 8-ounce glass. And I just started adding more of my time to that. I started opening up Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings. And then it was Thanksgiving last year. And I just said to my wife, if I do this math right, which my math is usually right, it looks like I could easily fill up my schedule in about 2 months' time if I opened it up full time, and did this for us rather than for, the people. And she's like, let me see the numbers then. If it makes sense, let's do it. And the next 3 weeks, I put up a whole spreadsheet for her. She saw it and she was like, let's jump in and see what the hell happens. And sure enough, I gave my notice and they didn't want me to leave. They asked me to stay. And they knew they knew what I was doing. Even though I had a non-compete clause, they really didn't seem to care in regards that they needed me to fill a spot there for them. And I mean, they send me patients. They're people there. They send me patients now. I send them patients. It's worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
But a year and a half later, here I am with me working full time, another nurse practitioner full time, another one part time, 2 part-time therapists, and I have an FMP that wants to join us to start seeing patients here as well. So I guess it's something clicked.
Wow. Congratulations, man. It's pretty awesome in just a year and a half. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Most NPs don't really consider hiring, another nurse practitioner or whatever for, usually a couple of years after they start. So, you did it within the first year, it sounds like.
And there's only so much I could do and still work on the business. It's like I still want us to expand. I'm in networking groups, and I can't go do that if I'm here 12, 13 hours a day. So I dedicated Monday to administration stuff only, where that's where I take my meetings. I meet with our bookkeeper. I meet with a marketing friend who helps us with business development, and I couldn't do that stuff if I'm seeing patients 5 and 6 days a week. So to me, to bring on, and again, it's a friend of mine who we brought in So I just went to her. I was like, Tammy, what are you doing? You hate your job. You hate what you're doing at this company where you are. Like, just do this. Just follow my lead, and it's going to work out. Within 3 months, she was full time.
Nice. Yeah, nice. Cool, man. So the light bulb went off pretty quick then in terms of, working in the business versus working on it. Like you really came to that realization pretty quick.
Oh, I mean, you preach it, and it really is, to your credit, more than anything. It's like everything that you say just clicked in my head, and I'm like, oh, he's right. I can't expand if I'm constantly sitting here, seeing patients every 20 to 30 minutes. Because now with the luxury of making my schedule, I get to take as long as I want with patients. If I want to follow up to take 40 minutes, we can.
Right.
And you can't do that but constantly and then still try to grow. You just can't. So you have to be able to let go of some stuff. And one of the things I had to let go of was seeing as many patients as possible, every day. It's not feasible to do.
Yeah. I think that's a super important point. For anyone who's starting their own practice or who might be, 6 to 12 months into it or whatever, like you're never going to be able to grow a practice that's going to be successful, really makes a lot of money if you're the main employee of the business. I mean, you can't be the one.
You'll make a living. That's it.
Yeah. You'll make a living. You're just going to be employed to your business. Your business isn't working for you,
Right.
Yeah. So
now, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we went to Disney for a week, and not only did the other two providers see patients, my assistant did some stuff for me, and she set up stuff for me to see patients like that needed some stuff in the minute, like stuff pops up, and I was seeing them every morning before we went out to Disney, and I ended up still earning money, for my business while I'm at Disney, walking around Epcot, drinking with mouse ears on, it's a different life. I never would have done this. I never took a vacation, ever.
Yeah, there's no PTO as a business owner. It doesn't exist.
You're always on, and it's fine. I love it. I love being constantly on, but at the same time, I never would have been able to go on a vacation to Disney. I just always thought it was something that other people did and not me. But not only was I there having the time of my life, but I still made money, while I was there.
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about having a business that works for you. Like you can go on vacation and you're still making money. If you are the main employee of the business, when you go on vacation, you're probably not going to make anything. Like it just stops,
Yes, it stops. Yes.
It just stops.
If you're sick, it stops. Like, what do? You're sick, I mean, it happens. You're going to get sick, but man, this way is a hell of a lot better.
Hell of a lot better. Yeah. Well, cool, man. That's awesome, dude. So you have a Psych NP working for you right now. You're offering mostly mental health services. Is that correct?
It's mental health, like anxiety, depression, ADHD. We do ADHD testing. We do substance abuse. Where we are in Pasco County, Florida. The area is terrible for opiate addiction. And we don't have a lot of patients that come in for it, but the ones we do are faithful, and it's really working out pretty well.
Yeah, and opioid addiction practice is really tough to get going, but once you have like an established patient base, it's so easy. Like
once the word gets out that you're here and that you're doing it, and you're not treating people, like the number that they get treated at the bigger places, and that you actually sit down and talk to them, and having therapists here who do that, who work with them on that stuff. I mean, that's beneficial too. And it's like I said, once it gets out that that's what you're doing here, they advertise for you.
100%. That's with any service, really. Yeah. Okay, so you are insurance based mostly.
Mostly, and that's just because of Alma, though. Like we aren't paneled with insurance companies. That's why we're able to do other stuff like the weight loss, because we don't have to follow those rules and regulations for that, like insurance companies put on you as a nurse practitioner or a family nurse practitioner. There's things that we can do, and we have a great collaborating doctor. Lets us understands what we want to do and doesn't say yes to everything, but says yes more than no. Put some stuff, forth for them about weight loss and stuff like that. And I gave them the same information that you had given me about it. And they were like, yeah, let's get you guys rolling and see what happens. And I took your weight loss class, which helped me tremendously. And then the marketing class, all that stuff tied it back in so I can present it to my collab doc, and was like, all right, let's do it and see what happens. And I mean, we have more, I will say this, we have more weight loss patients than anything else. And my wife does the ordering for the medication, and Jenny's a registered nurse. She was an emergency room nurse, and she's like, if anyone says that obesity or eating disorder or anything like that isn't a mental issue, they have to talk to our patients because they have something. And again, I am a weight loss patient. I'm my own weight loss patient. I know how I get. So I know that it's a mental issue. And I understand people's who think it's not, but man, oh man, they couldn't be more wrong. It's mental as well as physical.
100%. That's the thing about psych. Like a lot of psych NPs out there think that they can only do standard psych, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, whatever. They don't realize that you can do these other things if it's for a mental health issue. And like you said, how much depression and anxiety and whatnot stem from being obese and vice versa? Probably 90% of it.
Right. Right. And, how can I give you an SSRI that's going to cause weight gain when you come to me like, oh, I have depression because I'm 400 pounds or whatever. And it's like, or, I don't have sex with my husband because I have body dysmorphia. I'm ashamed of how I look. And it's like, okay, that's mental all day long.
Right, right. You put them on a psych med that makes the problem worse. Like, what the hell is this?
How did I help them? How did I help them? But, then when we have a patient call Jenny, and say, hey, I want to talk to Andrew about a refill, and says, oh, by the way, Jenny, I was able to have relations with my husband for the first time in about 2 years with the lights on, and I felt good and I felt confident. It's like, that's what we want. That's exactly why we're doing this. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Cool. Yeah. Okay, so I want you to explain real quick to people because they probably don't understand this ALMA thing and how it allows you to bill patients through insurance, but allows you to operate a cash-based practice. So if you could explain that real quick.
ALMA is a company. They are a referral service, but we don't really get much from them as far as referrals, and that's fine. They are credentialed with insurance companies, and it's only for mental health. There's no service like that. If someone wanted to have a business idea, it's to mimic Alma's business model, but for primary care, because it's brilliant. We literally enter the patient's information. They verify the insurance. They let us know what the copay is. They bill the insurance company. All we do is put in the date of service, where they were seen. Like me, I'm registered I'm licensed in like 13 states. I put that state in, and I put in the CPT code and the diagnosis. That's it. They never ask for notes. I have notes. We have charting. We have a CRM. We don't have to submit anything to them. They pay it automatically. If there's an issue, you find out about it a month later that the patient's insurance company doesn't want to pay, the money goes back. That's going to happen no matter what. But we are not credentialed with the insurance company, but we accept the insurance.
So it's basically a shortcut for people who want to accept insurance in their practice. Yeah. I believe there is one for just general medicine. I don't remember the name of it, but it's not ALMA. It's something else. But yeah, but it's something similar to that. Yeah. So I think someone is doing that. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but I'm sure you can find it through a quick Google search or on the Facebook group or whatever. But yeah. So it's pretty genius, really. You just sign up with this company. You can bill insurance. You can start making money, and then your entity itself is not credentialed.
$1,200 a year. That's nothing. It's what I do in the morning. Like it's
right. It's nothing, man. It's absolutely nothing. And it allows you to bill cash too. So a lot of people don't understand this, is that if your entity is credentialed with insurance, you typically cannot bill insurance. I mean, you typically can't charge your patients cash for covered services. But if it's a separate entity, you can. So this right here allows you to do it because you're not credentialed. This other company is. You're just billing through them. And you can do whatever you want from a cash perspective. So that's awesome. So
it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah. It's a genius, man. Yeah, I never really realized that. You're the person who really kind of made me to actually think about that. So that's super interesting. So I guess tell us a little bit about patient volume here. So what percentage is the more of the insurance-based psych and stuff, and then what percentage is the cash-based wellness services, the weight loss, et cetera?
60-40 on the insurance, and then the cash-based stuff. We do have a lot of weight loss patients, and those are self-pay because of the medications. We order from the compound pharmacies and whatnot. But 60-40 for the insurance for mental health. It's Florida. There's a lot of mental health need here. There's not a tremendous amount of providers. And if they are, they have wait lists. I have a patient who came to us for therapy. She's like, oh, I went to such and such place. They did their initial intake with me for therapy, and then they said they'd call me for a follow up, and it's been 4 months. So it's like, well, really, you called me on Tuesday, you're getting seen Wednesday. So there's a definite need for it, and I think that's just because it's mental health. I feel like that's been a huge part of why we're successful.
So 60% of your revenue is coming from the mental health, 40% is from weight loss.
Really? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So number wise here, how are you doing from a practice perspective? You don't have to give me, exact numbers here, but, just general estimates so people understand, in a year and a half, 2 years, where can you get? You started at zero at some point, and where are you at now?
So me personally, I see 20 to 25 patients a day, but that's by choice. Tammy, who's the other full-time MP, she sees 12 a day. Jesse's new, so we're just filling her in. She's seeing about 2 or 3. So, but her goal is to see 14 to 16, a day. And I do that 4 days a week. And Monday, like I said, is strictly administrative.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's patient volume. Now, number-wise, though, like
we're coming up on 750 for the year, it looks like.
$750,000.
Yes.
Nice. And so your margins are what?
I don't know. I don't know business stuff like that. I don't know. You tell me what that means, and I'll tell you. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, listen, man. My first year or two, I didn't really know all this stuff either. So margins basically. It's like, what's your profit margin here? So if you make $750,000 in revenue, how much are you actually getting on? Like, I'm like, what's the profit? Like at the end of the year, what are you taking
about
home?
250, I would say.
50-50. I mean, dude, you're never going to make that as an employed nurse practitioner, ever.
Hell no. No way.
No, it's not going to happen.
No, I mean, they would have to make you a partner to make that.
Yeah. You're making more than probably a large percentage of MDs, employed MDs.
I mean, I work here. Jen, my wife Jen's a full-time employee. She's getting ready to quit her job because she pretty much works for me full-time when she's at her job. Both kids are on payroll. My daughter comes to the office, answers the phones a couple days a week. My son does the infographics that we put on on Facebook and Instagram. So it's not just giving me something. And all the kids' money all goes into an investment fund for them, so they have something to build on. Because I don't want them to have to be 35, 40 years old and have to go back to school and worry about how they're going to go to school full time and work full time. I want a better life for them. I don't want them to have what I had to do. I want them to do better.
Right. So for people who might not understand what you're talking about here, it's tax shifting essentially. So like you as the business owner, let's say you make $300,000 in profit and that's all you're going to be taxed at the federal income level of that, the max income level, basically, 37% or whatever it is.
Yes.
That hurts when you're making that kind of money. Like, yeah, when you see $150,000 tax bill at the end of the year, it's not fun to write that check,
Hell no.
No, hell no. Like I've been there multiple times. It sucks. But what you're talking about is, and this is totally legal, is that you hire family, you hire your children to do work for you. They're at lower income levels. They're not getting taxed at 37% like you are. They're not going to get taxed anything, 0% up to $12,000 a year, $12,500 a year. So like you're shifting away your taxes. You can't do this stuff as an employed nurse practitioner. You just can't.
You can't. And when you have an accountant who when you say this stuff to, and you're like, okay, yeah, we'll just keep their salary at like 11.5, and you're like, okay, no problem. Both of them are in school, so it's fine, and it just helps, like you say, it just helps with that tax break.
Yeah, and then you put that money into an IRA.
Yes, that's what we did.
$6,000 a year or whatever. Like this stuff adds up really quick. Yeah. And then you as a self-employed nurse practitioner, a business owner, you can then max out your self-employed IRA or 401k at $66,000. Like you can't do this stuff as an employed nurse practitioner. You just can't.
No.
Yeah.
Nope,
the tax code benefits business owners. It just does.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's completely legal.
System. Yes. And you have to, it's not taking advantage of the system. It's using the system. That's what it's there for.
That's what it's there for.
The setup.
Yeah. Yeah, congressmen, congresswomen write these laws to benefit them. Take advantage of it. You're a fool not to.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think my tax rate now. I mean, I've been in business myself for 5, 6 years now, something like that. And like my tax rate now is less than what it was when I was employed back in 2016.
Yep.
And I make a hell of a lot more money. Like it's not fair. Like,
And I mean, that's what Warren Buffett says, right? He's like, we should be, wealthy people should, get taxed more. And it's like, but we do. So wait, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Being employed W-2 sucks. Like it just totally just bend over and take it. Like you're nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. You're just a cog. You're just a cog in the wheel.
Yep. Exactly. Just a cog in the wheel. So what's next for you, man? So you got this practice going. So what things are you doing from a growth perspective here? I mean, you have 2, 3 other nurse practitioners working for you at this point. You're almost at $1 million. This year you're close, 750, 800, whatever it's going to be. Dude, next year you're probably going to hit $1 million. Like you're just going to. So
the goal is 1.5 next year.
Okay, good. So double it. Yeah. I think it's probably very, very realistic. What I've seen and what I've seen from other business owners is that you typically will see 1.5 to 2x revenue year after year. So if you're making $750,000 this year, 1.5 the next year is definitely realistic. I mean, that's what you usually see. Like your very, very first year, you make 100,000. Next year, you should make 200. Then it's 400. Then it's 800. Like it just exponentially compounds. And that's what I've seen with most businesses. If you're in growth phase, as long as you're hiring people, investing back in the business, that sort of a thing. So if you're investing back in the business, buying supplies, buying meds, buying equipment, hiring NPs, all that kind of stuff, dude, you're going to be between 1 and 1.5 next year. There's no question about it.
And so in business, if you're not growing, you're dying. And he was right.
Yeah, exactly. So what's your goal then? I mean, you get up to 1.5 next year. Where does Andrew kind of maybe just say, he takes the foot off the gas a little bit and just coast for a while?
Never. I don't know how. I don't know how. It's not even an option. I literally have no other speed but forward and as fast and as hard as possible. This was so great for me because I've always worked hard. I've always been driven. This just gave me something to focus all of that energy on. When I worked in the hospital as a nurse, I was like, oh, I'm going to really work hard, and I'm going to show them that I could be a charge nurse, and I'm going to show them that maybe I could be an assistant unit manager. That didn't get me anywhere. That just got me more grief and work that was thankless. This I can push as hard as I want and get somewhere, and that's why I'll never slow down. I won't. I don't know how. I genuinely don't know how.
Yeah. That's a really, really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. With a business, the amount of effort you put into it, you usually see results back. With a job, you don't. You don't.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not at all.
No, they don't. Managers, the other business owners, they don't give a shit about you.
Nope.
They just don't. Well, I mean, I think you'll probably slow down a little bit at some point, man. You'll eventually see, like, okay, money's great, but it only does so much for me. $1 million a year in profit's pretty damn good. Like, I'm working my ass off already. Like, there might get to a point where you just say, okay, I've maxed this out to here. There's not really, there's more room for growth, obviously, if I want to open up another location or something like that. But then I suspect what you'll do is you'll pivot and probably do a little something else, like another business or something.
More than likely.
Yeah.
I'll explore a hobby or something.
Sorry, what was that?
I'll explore a hobby or something. I don't know.
Exactly, man. Like start a business that's outside of medicine, like, yeah. That's kind of what I'm doing. Medicine's great and all, but the liability, the headaches, the regulations, like I get sick of it sometimes, like I kind of want to look outside of medicine.
Definitely. I have always wanted to have a food truck, and we came close at one time during the pandemic, and it might be something we revisit one day. So
yeah, cool, man. So you got this practice making $1 million a year for you over here, and you got this food truck, and you're just like, I don't really give a shit if we really make a whole lot of money or not. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a great problem. That's a great problem to have, man. I'm thinking about opening up a like a wine bar kind of thing.
See? Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't one in my town, and I live on like the growing side of town, and like there's not really a whole lot for like bars and restaurants and stuff. And I'm like, just a little 1,000 square foot wine bar, charcuterie board kind of a thing. Like I'll go in there and serve, bartend. I don't give a shit if I make any money. It'd just be fun, you know?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. One of my favorite TV shows was Cheers. It was a bunch of guys hanging around a bar, breaking each other's chops all day. Like that's the best.
Right, exactly, man. You know, and you got this other income source. You can do whatever you want,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I love it.
Well, cool. Is there anything else that you feel like people should know in terms of, your success, how you got to where you got?
Don't wait until you get all your ducks in a row. They will never be in a row. Don't wait for them to be in a row. In fact, shoot the damn ducks and just go forward. And you only need one patient. You don't need 300 patients to start. You need one. One will get you two, and then you'll start snowballing. Trust me and trust yourself. Don't wait for those ducks to be in a row. And shout out to my Tampa Bay elites because we had a great dinner the other night. We talked about you, Justin, and we all said the same thing. Don't wait for those ducks to be in a row. They're not going to be in a row. Shoot them, eat them for dinner, and just go forth. Don't hold back. Don't hold back.
100%, man. I've written a couple articles before. Like, you're never going to be ready. You're just not.
No.
Yeah. No. There's no such thing as 100% ready business. That doesn't fucking exist. Like, that does not exist.
No. I mean, if you ask me right now, am I ready to start my own business? I say no. But here I am a year and a half later. I'm still doing it every single day. No idea what I'm doing, but you just ask the right questions. That's all you have to do. Just ask the right questions.
Right. And you're still figuring out stuff, right? Like you're still figuring it out.
Margins now. I have to figure out what the hell that means. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Right. Like, I mean, this guy over here has $1 million business almost. Doesn't even know what a profit margin is. Like guys, you can. Yeah.
I just know I keep working and we keep expanding and the phone keeps ringing. I just hired an assistant to answer the phones because I was answering the phones and seeing patients all day. And there are days now, the assistant says to me, how did you answer this phone all day and see patients? I'm like, why do you think I was always cranky? She's like, I don't believe you.
Yeah. Same here, man. I had my receptionist and assistants have told me the same thing. Like, how the hell did you do all this stuff and answer the phone and answer emails and all this stuff? I'm like, I just did it. Like, it sucked.
That's what I drink. That's why I go home and have whiskey at the end of the day. Because it's like, I've been doing this since 4 a.m. I know what it's like. I understand totally.
Right. Well, cool. So 2 pieces of advice that I like to ask the people in this little webinar series that I'm doing. So first piece of advice is, so I mean, you already gave everyone, advice in terms of like, don't have all your ducks in a row. It doesn't exist. Like, just get started and start seeing people. And I've mentioned this before in podcasts and even the other webinar that I did, was that as long as you're not killing patients and you're not committing fraud, don't worry so much about it. Just get started.
Yes.
Yeah. So 2 pieces of advice then, I guess, outside of that. First piece of advice would be, what kind of advice would you give to the dreamer nurse practitioner out there that's listening to this? They haven't started a business yet. They're thinking about a business. What piece of advice would you give them?
Trust yourself. You know more than what you think you know. You really do. And even if it's just, I just know how to see patients, that's all you have to know because that's what we do. That's how your business is going to start. That's what you're going to do every day, see patients. So you already know exactly what to do. Definitely trust yourself without a doubt.
Yeah. As long as you're seeing patients doing what you're doing for someone else, you can do it for yourself. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. Just make
social media. Use your social media. I tell this to anyone. Use social media. It's just as simple. Use Facebook. If those people on your Facebook page, these are the people who know you inside and out. If they don't know that you have your own business, how are other people going to know? If I, and we see it all the time in the group, someone be like, my practice is struggling. I go and I look at their Facebook page. They don't have their practice listed as their occupation. They don't have their banner, their Facebook page as their company logo, as their business card. How are those people who know you better than anyone supposed to come to you for help or even refer people if they don't know what you're doing?
Right. It's a good point.
There's a reason NASCAR drivers wear the name of the company on their jackets because the company wants to know who this is us.
Right.
Jeff Gordon, we didn't know who he drove for. He drove to DuPont. How do we know? It says it on his jacket. If your Facebook page, at the very least, doesn't have the name of your practice, no one's going to, if you don't care, and if you're not your biggest cheerleader, no one else is going to be your cheerleader. Honestly.
Exactly right. You can't hire a marketing agency to do it for you. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Yeah.
You have to start it yourself.
Exactly right. And you don't have to hire people. You don't have to pay a bunch of money for ads. You don't got to do this shit. Get the word out. It's not that hard. Like,
TikTok has to be the easiest thing to learn. B-roll, text on screen, trending sounds. Right there. Like, that got us so much in weight loss patients last year when from two videos. And no one taught me that. I just learned it from scrolling. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Let me try that. And it works. I didn't pay anyone to teach that to me. I saw it from scrolling on my phone. You ask questions. There's plenty of people. I hope anyone who messages me, my inbox is always going off with people who need help. I answer any question. I always point you in the right direction. I want you to succeed. I don't want you to have to work for someone else. I want you to work for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Now, if you don't mind, real quick, explain what you did for the weight loss ad there.
So B-roll, okay, is something. B-roll is footage that runs behind a graphic, right? Like, if you watch the news and they're talking about, let's just say they're talking about Howard Stern, for example. The B-roll will be Howard Stern sitting in a studio at a microphone. Background roll, the background footage, right? So if you take something like push-ups, if you work out and you do push-ups, film yourself 10 seconds, how many push-ups you do. There's now your B-roll. You take a trending sound, and the trending sound is the videos that you see when you're scrolling through TikTok and you hear that same song 3-4 times. That's a trending sound. Put that trending sound with your B-roll, text on screen for what you do. Doesn't matter. Weight loss, mental health, primary care, doesn't matter. Simple. You're primary care. Hey, are you tired of your primary care doctor not talking to you, not looking at you when he talks to you when you go see him? Come see me and I will show you the difference. That's your video. It's going to come up. And anyone who watches 2 or 3 videos with that trending sound, your video is now going to come up. You don't know what's going to happen with that video. You just don't know. And if you're not sure what to do, message me. We're in Disney World. I'm like this on It's a Small World, getting 12 seconds. Jenny's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm making B-roll. She's like, I love you. Because she's like, she knows I don't stop. It doesn't matter. Every single thing. You're making pasta on Sunday, the water boiling in the pot. That's B-roll. It's that simple. You're making bedroom Saturday morning for your kids. That's B-roll. It's that simple. I hate saying it's that, oh my gosh, that's it, but it is. It's that simple.
It's that simple. It's not hard.
No.
You don't got to spend a bunch of money marketing, promoting shit, hiring a marketing agency. Don't waste your money. Like,
no.
Yeah, I've never, not one time.
She's like, I wish I had clients that understood stuff the way you do. And she's a friend, just helps me because she wants to help. She's like, if my clients were all like you, my job would, one, be simple, and I'd be a billionaire because you get it and you aren't afraid. Like, what are you afraid of? Afraid of failing? Failing stuff all my life. What the hell? What's one more thing?
Right. What's the worst case if you fail here, right? When you're getting started, you're out $5,000. Like,
big deal.
Big deal. It's not the end of the world, you know?
No.
Yeah.
You can say you tried. You can say you tried.
100%. And you'll never regret it. Ever.
Nope.
If you never tried it, you'll always regret it. You'll always say, what if? What if?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, $5,000 to $10,000 to invest in a little niche practice or something is not that much money. If you go and take a $250,000 business loan out, you are a fool. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
That's how.
I see that too all the time. People ask the question in the group, like, where do you get your startup money from? From working, from starting to see patients. You put that money aside. There it is.
Right. Yeah. If you can't save $5,000 to $10,000 from your job, your finances are a shit show. You need to fix that first. Like,
yes.
Yeah. Do not go take out a big business loan. That is where you get in trouble with a business. Yeah.
For sure. We didn't have a computer. I was using my kid's iPad to start. And I was just like, I had nothing. I was like, Cody, you using this iPad anymore? He's like, no. I'm like, it's mine. Reformatted it, started restoring factory conditions. Boom, started all over again. There you go. We had it in the house.
Right. You put your EMR on it and stuff. Just get started. Like,
some people too, when they ask this question, I'm like, what do you do for EMR? You have a laptop? Yeah. You have Microsoft Word? Yeah. Do you have an EMR?
Yep.
You just make folders for each patient. You made a new Word document with the patient's name, date, boom, it goes into that folder. There you go. You don't need anything fancy. And then there's always pen and paper. Worst case scenarios, pen and paper. Google Voice for a phone. It's free. You use what you have available. You have more. You're way better off and ahead of yourself than you even realize to get started.
100%. Google Docs and Google Drive is free.
Yes. Yeah.
There's your EMR. Like,
there it is.
Don't complicate this. My medical cannabis business was all on paper. It was a shitty little note thing that I made in Microsoft Word. I printed them off, and that's all I use at my medical cannabis clinic. And I'm making $20,000, $30,000 a month cash with this shitty little paper note. And I just threw them in a folder in like a, in a storage thing in my office at my house. Like,
hey,
it worked. Whatever. People got their cannabis card. They were happy. I made some money. We're all happy. I paid Uncle Sam taxes, all this stuff. Everyone's happy,
Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, exactly. And another thing about the marketing thing, like you said, you're your own personal cheerleader. I love that. When my men's health clinic first started, I got these T-shirts printed off. It's these white T-shirts with my logo, my men's health clinic, like a phone number on the back, men's health testosterone. Every time I went to the gym, I wore that thing.
Yeah.
You know how many patients I got from that? And that was basically $10 for the shirt.
Yeah. Now we have the T-shirt, tank top, hoodie, long sleeve T-shirt. Because I go to the gym 4 days a week, I need a new shirt every day when I go to the gym now for that. Just for that reason.
There you go, right? And then put something on your car. You're driving around.
Yeah.
It's an advertisement. My truck was wrapped with my men's health clinic logos and stuff on it. It looked ridiculous. But you know how many patients I got from that? A lot.
Hell yeah, magnets. My car has magnets. My wife's car has magnets. Tammy's has magnets. The two therapists now have magnets. I have a friend, he drives Uber on the weekends. He puts magnets on his doors for me, and he puts a placard on the back of the headrests for the car. This way, when people sit in the back seat, they're looking at Caliper Wellness sign. And what does he want for it? And when we go to the bar, I buy him a drink, and he's happy. He's like, gee, thanks. Nothing. When you have people who want you to succeed, it's amazing what happens. It just is.
100%, man. Yeah. Fantastic advice. So, other piece of advice for the clinic, for the nurse practitioner out there who might be 6 to 12 months in their journey, maybe struggling, not really too sure how to grow their practice, that sort of a thing. I mean, you just mentioned a bunch of stuff about the marketing stuff, which was great. But any kind of advice for maybe that group of people?
Be patient. Don't give up. And if you're not seeing anything work, start all over again as far as getting the word out there. Hey, guys, and again, it's simple. Facebook posts, hey, guys, just in case anyone forgot, I do have a primary care practice or mental health practice. This is the stuff we do. Here's my business card. Maybe you know someone. If you refer someone to me, I would be, I'd appreciate it very much. If anything is not working, you're not getting momentum, stop it. Just go back go right back to the start. It's no big deal.
Right, exactly. It's not a big deal. Like if you got to scrap it and start over, scrap it and start over. I've done that before.
No big deal. Flyers on windows. As long as you're not going to get in trouble for littering. Gym parking lots. If you're doing weight loss, anything like that, testosterone replacement. The gym parking lot is gonna be awesome. Find like not just a Planet Fitness type place or a chain place, but like a muscle gym. You put that right on the windshield. Don't be afraid. The worst that someone's going to say is, hey, get that away from my car. Sorry, man. Just keep walking. That's it.
That's the worst case scenario. No one's going to shoot you. You're not going to jail. Like, just do it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. I remember when I first started my cannabis clinic, because it was really one of my first like real businesses. And I remember I just printed off cards. I would just go out and just drop them off, put them on car windows, go to dispensaries, go to smoke shops. Like I would just hand these things out. I had 5,000 of these things printed. And like in 6 months, I was out of the 5,000. You better believe I got patients from that stuff,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Find charities that you could donate to if they're having like a fundraiser and they're having a program. Donate because that's free advertising.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, cool. Well, listen, Andrew, I appreciate your time. Your story's fantastic, dude. I love hearing about this. I love hearing a nurse practitioner start, and after a year or two, almost have $1 million business. I mean, that's That's fantastic.
No, thank you. Thank you. I mean, all I do is follow every single thing that you've said, whether it's in those messages that we send to each other or in a lesson off the website from when you blog. All I do is just follow that stuff. I don't know anything about when it comes to running a business. I'm learning all of this mainly from taking your classes. And anyone who's not sure, like, oh, where do I start? Just start with the telepractice one and just go from there.
Yeah, the telemedicine practice course is cheap and it gives you exactly the steps you need. It's a simple course.
Simple. And then if you don't know what to do for marketing, take the marketing one. If you don't know what to do, the class is there, and each one has helped in one way or the other.
Yeah, yeah. And plus the podcasts, the articles. I mean, there's hundreds of articles I've written on that site. Like there's a textbook of business there for you.
Oh, for sure. There's no shortage on it, and I can't thank you enough, honestly.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. I'm just glad to see where you're at. So listen, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. I'll see you soon.
All right, thank you. Bye.